excited, man. We're going right into this word. I'm excited to see you guys. If you're parked next to someone, will you just say good evening and happy new year? Come on, shout out at somebody. Good stuff. Well, guys, God bless you. It's our New Year Eve pull-up service, and we're excited. Guys, I'm going right into this word. Isaiah chapter 6, I believe that the word of the Lord is here. I want you to hear this now. I want you to hear this. This is your time. You got to take notes. You got to know that God is speaking. I want you to hear this now. It's the word of the Lord. We've already declared it. We can feel the atmosphere. It's right. It's right. We've already declared, and the atmosphere is right. And we're in Isaiah chapter 6, and I want you to hear this. God is speaking. Got the word of the Lord. I promise I don't have a sermon this morning. I just got the word of the Lord. I want you to hear this now. I want you to hear this. Isaiah chapter 6, I want to read verse 1, and I'm just going to speak, and I'll read. I'm telling you. I just need you to receive. I'm going to read what God gave me. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. I got to read that to you again. I got to give you the word of the Lord. I got to give it to you. Isaiah chapter 6, we're in verse 1, and this is how Isaiah begins to speak. Watch this. In verse 1, chapter 6, it says, in the year that King Uzziah, a good king, guys, a good king now, he died. Even good people make bad decisions. I saw the Lord sitting on a throne. I want you to hear this. High and lifted up, and the train of his robe, hear this, filled the temple. For Isaiah, for the prophet Isaiah, I want you to hear this. This is an encounter with God. It's interesting. I want you to hear this. You got to write this. You got to write this. In this text, his encounter with God is explained. Yet it's explained in a moment where he has to take over after a king that he admires dies. This is important. I want you to hear something. Watch this. The same year that King Uzziah died is the same year that Isaiah hears from God. Is there someone that will go? In the same year. Somebody says, what's the title of the word of the Lord, Pastor? The same year. The same year, hear this, I gotta speak to you. The same year, crazy, stressed, and crazy blessed in the same year. In the same year, you can feel me, somebody feels me right here. Big steps back and big steps forward in the same year. In the same year, people have gone through lots of pain and lots of gain in the same year. In the same year, bad changes and good changes in the same year. In the same year, negative battles and necessary battles that you needed to see God win on your behalf in the same year. In the same year, failure and favor in the same year. In the same year, you had people hurting you and people helping you in the same year. In the same year. In the same year. In the same year. And I want you to hear something. I want you to hear something. I don't have a prophecy about what is to come, but I do have a word to tell you what's happening now. And I got to tell you this. Notice God speaking to you. Notice God speaking to you. I'm talking now about surviving and thriving in the same year. Because if we're honest, I need your mind to go around a little bit. Watch this. If we're honest, in the same year, we're trying to survive COVID and we're trying to thrive in whatever God has told us. Am I speaking to you this morning? And I need you to get this. It's in the same year. Same year. That you've got to know how to hear from God about surviving, and you also got to listen to God about thriving. And you can't, watch this, you can't choose any longer, because he's going to be talking to you about them both in the same year. I want you to hear something. Watch this. Watch this. It's not a sermon. I got a word of the Lord. Watch this. To survive, encouragement helps you to survive. Encouragement, I want you to hear this so that you hear it. God is going to cause us to survive and thrive in the same year, and I need you to know what he's sending your way to help you is that encouragement helps you survive. This means for all the people that feel that only weak people need encouragement, watch this, get rid of that arrogance. Everybody needs encouragement. Whether you're strong, whether you're a leader, whether you follow, it doesn't matter who you are, at the mountaintop, at the valley low. Everybody needs encouragement, and encouragement helps you to survive. So I need you to receive. I need you to receive. This is a moment where, for those that are really hearing the word of the Lord, I need you to write these. Watch this. I got to say these to you as I heard them verbatim from God. Whatever you did for God this year really matters. Whatever you did. Take a moment. Whatever you did. Gotta repeat that. Whatever you did for God this year really matters. So when you write that, whatever I did for God this year really matters. Watch the second one. God understands you're trying and he's proud of you. God understands you're trying. I don't know who this speaks to, and he's proud of you. People will look over you trying, not God. No. He says, I want you to hear it now. He understands that you're trying. Doesn't look like you're doing much, but you're trying. And he says, I'm proud of you. Watch this next one. God hears you praying for others, and he's smiling on you. People don't know. So sometimes people take it for granted because you don't have to pray for nobody. But God says, I see you praying for other people. I see you lifting other people up. I see you calling other people's names to me, and nobody knows, and it makes me smile. Hear this one, hear this one. God feels you suffering, and he said, it won't be long. I got to read that to you again. I know you receive it. I get it. God feels you suffering. Whether it's in marriage, whether it's on your job, whether it's in your health, whether it's in your life, however you're suffering in your mind, in family circles. And he says, it won't be long. He says it won't be long. I can't go any farther. I need to know you received it. He says it won't be long. Weeping endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. It won't be long. God, watch this. God says, watch this one. I like this one. God knows your heart, and he's pleased with you. Man judges the outward appearance. I'm in the book. But God judges the heart. And God says, I know your heart. Sometimes they judge your actions and they still don't know your heart. And he says, I'm pleased with you. Gotta give you this last one. God sees you believing, and he's going to do it for you. I don't know what this is for. God says, I see you believing. I see you making up your mind every day that even though it hadn't happened yet, you're going to keep believing. And God says, I'm going to do it for you. Man of God, woman of God. Nobody knows how much you're struggling just to keep believing. Stuff isn't working out in the timing you had in mind. Stuff isn't changing like you thought it would change by now. And here we are at New Year Eve evening. And God says, I see you believing. And I'm going to do it for you. Gotta give you this last one. This is the bonus. Watch this. And whatever you did for God, I gotta repeat this to you. This year really matters because you matter. Gotta read that to you again. And whatever you did for God this year really matters because you matter. Be encouraged. Encouragement helps you survive. Let me know you receive it. You will survive. You will survive. So here's something important. I want to give you something. You'll notice, and I said this to you earlier, but I want to say it in detail. You will notice God doing some things, hear this, and speaking some things to you to survive. You will notice God doing some things and speaking some things to you so that you'll survive. No, I need you to hear this. I know sometimes church, we so faith driven that we don't talk about real-time events. No, watch this. We got a virus to survive. There's a sickness to survive. There's murder in the streets of Baton Rouge to survive. There's stuff going on to survive. And God says, I'm going to do some things. I'm going to speak some things. And they so that you'll survive. Survive in your faith. That's relationship with God. Survive, my brother, my sister, in your health. That's taking care of the temple of God. Survive, he's going to be speaking to you in all these areas in your mind. That's guarding and managing your thoughts. Survive in your emotions. That's allowing your emotions to help but not to move you. But you will survive. God says, I'm going to be doing some things. I'm going to be saying some things so that you'll survive. Let me know you received that. We got to move. And so, got to go to the second one. I'm going to let you go home. Encouragement helps us survive. This is why, for those that are just lay off all the church stuff, the religious stuff, and just stop for a moment and say, man, I really need to survive this, man. And you're going to survive, watch this, greatly based upon encouragement. Encouragement is going to help you keep your mind right. Encouragement is going to keep you believing right. Encouragement is going to keep you out of your feelings. You got to be encouraged. You can't, watch this, you can't take encouragement like it's light, like it's optional. From this moment forward, I want you to hear the word of the Lord. Encouragement is mandatory. It's essential. Be encouraged. Encouragement, I got to say it to you again, don't forget this, helps us survive. Hallelujah. So, in the same year, I'm still here. Same year, you will survive and you will thrive. I gotta talk to you about this. In the same year, you will survive and you will thrive. God will be speaking to you about surviving on one hand, and then on the other hand, he'll be speaking to you about thriving. Don't you choose which one. I need you to accept them in the same year. I'm talking to you about now. The word of the Lord is you will survive and you will thrive. Before I give you this, will you lay your hands on yourself and say, I will survive. I will thrive. Come on, guys, there's power in confession. I will survive. I will thrive. Come on, release this in the atmosphere. I will survive. I will thrive. And so I got to show you this. John 10:10, one of my favorites. It says, the thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. Somebody says, Pastor, why you read that part? Because I want you to know you got something to survive. The thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. Watch this other part. Same text. Same year. I have come, Jesus says, that they may have life. That's us. That's we the they. And they may have it more abundantly. You got something to survive. And Jesus says, I came so that you'll thrive. So I want you to hear this. Encouragement helps you survive. Encounters help you thrive. Now we're back to the text. Isaiah, the prophet, has had an encounter with God. He's got something to survive, the death of a king, but then he's about to thrive because he's had an encounter. He has to survive the death of a king. Anytime someone separates from you, got to survive that. But in the same year, he's got to get ready to thrive. Same for you. You got a devil that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But in the same text, you got a Lord and Savior that says, I've come to give you life and life more abundantly. And you got to get used to, watch this, surviving on one hand and thriving with the other in the same year. And so I want to show you something. Encounters help us thrive. Encounters, just like the prophet Isaiah, they help us thrive. Encounters, I want you to hear this now. Encounters, listen to this, show some and remind others the Lord is good and the Lord is great. I got to read that to you again. Encounters help us to thrive. And encounters show some for the very first time and remind others that the Lord, in all situations, in pandemics, in life situations, doesn't matter what it is, encounters show some and remind others that the Lord is good and the Lord is great. And encounters, watch this, allow you to see this in the spirit, hear this in the spirit, feel this in the spirit. Gotta say that to you again. Watch this. Encounters show some for the very first time. There are some people for the very first time you're going to really see in the spirit. You're going to feel in the spirit. You're going to hear in the spirit that the Lord that we preach about, that we live for, that died for us, He is good and He is great. And no matter what's going on in your life, it doesn't change who He is. The Lord is good and the Lord is great. And you will have encounters that show you for the very first time, if that's you, and remind you, if you've seen it before, that nothing has changed about our God. Every good and perfect gift coming down from up above, from the Father of lights, in whom there is no shadow of turning, no changing. He's good and he's great. Mama said he's good and he's great. Mama said he's good and he's great. And sooner or later you gotta say it. He's good and he's great. But you need an encounter. Encounters are when you see in the Spirit, you feel in the Spirit, you hear in the Spirit. And I want you to do this. I want you to do this. I need you to just open up to it. Just open up. God, whatever you want me to feel, whatever you want me to see, whatever you want me to hear in the Spirit, so that I will be reminded that you're good and you're great, I open to you. I open myself up. I open myself up to a realm that I've never been before in the Spirit. I open myself to a level that I've never heard before. I've never felt this before. I've never seen this before. I open myself up to see in the Spirit, to hear in the Spirit, to feel in the Spirit. No, the elders were not, watch this, the elders were not crazy when they say, I can feel the God that I serve. And you need an encounter. So I want you to hear something. Watch this, watch this. Receive this. You will encounter God's healing in you and on you. You will encounter God's forgiveness for you. You either see it, you either feel it, you'll hear it in the Spirit, but I want you to open up. I've heard from God in the Spirit to experience, to encounter God in a way that you've never encountered him before. I gotta keep going. You will encounter God's favor on you. Remember, these encounters are to show someone for the very first time, to remind someone who's seen it before, that the Lord is good and the Lord is great. You will encounter God's grace on you. You will encounter God's wisdom in you. You will encounter God's miracles for you. You will encounter the generational blessing on you. You will encounter faith in you and on you to believe in every season for everything that's for you. You need an encounter. Encouragement helps us survive. Encounters help us thrive. And so I got to read these, I got to speak these over you one more time and we're done. You will encounter God's healing in you and on you. You will encounter God's forgiveness for you. This will be a year that you won't think the guilty thoughts you've thought before. You won't walk around guilty and ashamed of your mistake, because you're going to encounter the forgiveness of the God that's for you. You will encounter God's favor on you. I said you will encounter God's favor on you. You will encounter God's grace on you. You will encounter God's wisdom in you. You will encounter the generational blessing on you. You will encounter faith in you and on you to believe God in every season for everything that's for you. You need an encounter. And so here we are. Encouragement is to survive. We're done. Encounters are to thrive. And it's going to happen in the same year. That means don't get too distracted with trying to survive. Make sure you spend some attention on God helping you thrive. And in the same year, you will do them both, because watch this, you will be encouraged, you will have encounters, you will survive and thrive in the same year. And all I needed you to do this evening is to open your heart to the word of the Lord. This is the word of the Lord. You will be encouraged. You will have encounters. You will survive and thrive in the same year. I'm going to speak it over your life until you feel it. I got to say, you will be encouraged. You will not be depressed. You will not be suicidal. You will not walk around in fear. You will be encouraged. You will have encounters. You won't ask questions like, where is God? You will know where he is. He's with you. He hadn't left you. You will have encounters. Some of you, you're going to open up so much, it will happen daily. Some of you will open up so much, your encounters will be spontaneous, on the hour, on the minute. You will know that God is reminding me that he's good and he's great.
Oh, yeah.
You will have encounters. I feel this, man.
Yes.
You will have encounters. You will look on your lawn and see the angels of the Lord, reminding you that you are protected. You will have encounters. You will survive and you will thrive in the same year. In the same year. It's the word of the Lord, in the same year. So I gotta mess you up. No, this isn't your year. This is God's year.
Hey.
No, come on, I need you to hear this now. No. I could hit you with a cliche. This is God's year.
Yes, Lord.
He's gonna cause you to survive.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna cause you to thrive, and you will know it was the Lord.
Yes.
It was the Lord. It's the Lord's doing.
Glory.
And it's marvelous in our eyes. So I want you to do something. Because Rahab has this thing that it always blessed me. It was this thing, and this is the part, Pastor, when you see them no longer call Rahab the harlot Rahab. They just call her Rahab. Because now they're talking about the genealogy of Jesus.
All right now.
It's because she asked, Lord, save me and my family. So what am I saying? Why did I bring that up? Because I've spoken over your life that the word of the Lord is that you'll survive and you'll thrive. But I need just a few faith people. This may not be for everybody. That if you'll step outside your car, I need you to represent you and your family. Come on. No, this is for people that care about their people now. No, this is for people that say, I can't leave my people behind. No, God, I need you to do it for me and my family.
Yes, Lord, yes.
Come on, I need to know that you're here. This may not be for everybody. But this is for people that say, no, I'm not selfish in this. I care about my people.
Yes.
This is for people that are saying, no, I'm standing in the gap for my people. I'm standing in the gap for my family. I'm standing in the gap for this city. And God, I'm asking you that the same word of surviving and thriving that you've spoken over me, I'm standing on behalf of my people.
Yes, God, yes.
If you're here, raise your hand. Let me know. Are you standing on behalf of your people? My family, my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my husband, my wife. I'm standing on behalf of my people. I care about my people, Lord. I'm lifting up my people. I won't let them go to hell. I won't let them die in depression. I'm standing on behalf of my people. This moment is for you and your people.
Yes, Lord.
Did you hear that? I said this moment is for you and your people. And so I'm about to pray. But I need you to take a moment. We're doing something in faith now. This isn't just me saying something. I hear this in faith. You got to call out some names. Just go ahead and do it. Take a moment. Call out some names. Take a moment. Call out some names. Call out some names. Let God hear you. Call out some names. I need my people to survive. I need my people to thrive. Come on, take a moment and call out some names. Hallelujah. Come on, take a moment. Call out some names for you and your people. You and your family. You and your loved ones. You and your friends. Come on, take a moment. Call out some names. Call them until you forget everybody. You just say, God, everybody. Call out some names. Call out some names. You're doing it in faith. You're doing it in faith. You're doing it because you know God hears you. You're doing it because you know God is listening. I need my people to survive. I need my people to thrive.